you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast on a Monday. Mike and Jay. Big E, of course, is here. Kadog, an asshole, yet here. How are you, my friend?
I'm pleased to be here.
How are you?
Yes, thank you for having me.
How was your weekend?
It was great. It was very busy. Lots of stuff going on, obviously, with Halloween, All Hallows Eve and such.
Right.
Good time. Too bad it rained.
Did it?
Hope it didn't rain on too many people, but it certainly rained on us.
Was it cold?
It's cold and rainy.
Yeah. That happens. How did the Peacock do?
Sweet Pie was the Peacock. She did well.
Good haul.
Did quite well, right in that range. She probably did like 35 houses and then called it because it was raining.
How many houses are on a block?
I don't
20?
live on a traditional block. I mean,
yeah,
that's
like
true. A city block.
Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? You went like through the whole neighborhood?
No, the neighborhood's probably got like 80 houses, so
got a good almost half of it.
Yeah, sure.
It's a good haul for a kid.
Yeah.
Anyone give you real stuff like big candy bars, full size?
No, we had very few. I know it was kind of a lame haul in that regard.
Yeah.
But she didn't have anything weird like the pennies on the masking tape or anything like that.
Yeah, the apple.
Yeah, no apples. No needles that I know of.
Good.
Yeah, and then she was willing to share some with Russell.
Really? I was going to
nice.
ask, how bummed was Russell when the day came?
Russell was very, very bummed. It was he made one final press.
Good move. He wouldn't be the son of a lawyer if he didn't.
He came down.
Final appeal.
He came to me and he was half dressed in his outfit.
Oh no!
And I'm like, no. I went, no. I said, you're not going out, Russell.
No.
You're not going out. You know, we talked about this, and he kind of poured it on like, this could be my last time. And my buddies want to go.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I was like, you should have thought about that before you screwed up.
Oh man!
So Russell moped back upstairs and took off what he had of his costume on.
He wasn't even allowed to wear it. Like, did he go with you and Sweet Pie?
No, I offered that. He elected to stay home in a dark house.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be with you either.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I kind of thought about it. Like, why would he go with me?
Yeah, the Grinch who stole Halloween. You kidding me?
Uh.
As if it's your fault. Did you care at all?
I did. I don't like to see my kids upset. He was like genuinely freaking out, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
did he really think you were going to fold though? Have you ever folded before? Has your word ever not stuck?
I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking. I think he was just desperate. Like, dude, this is Halloween. This is the one day a year.
Are you? I assume you're not. My parents weren't either. I'm assuming there's not a good move for him to go to Gab and try to work that angle.
And in fact, Gab was cracking though. Yeah,
she was.
Yeah, she came to me and she was like, he's a kid, and I just hate that. And I'm like, we talked about this. We settled on this. This was it. She's like, yeah, I know. It hurts to see him so upset, and hurts to see him miss out on this piece of his childhood. And then she blew out of there and went to a band competition. Yeah, and left me with like the fallout. I mean, tough. Gab was kind of going to the route of
probably not.
I'm like, probably.
Yeah.
It's no.
Yeah.
So we stood firm.
That's tough. See,
Russell learned his lesson.
I had really shitty parents too who stood by their word.
Right.
And there was no going to mom till then, like.
Unified front, my friend.
Yeah, it was a total. I hated that. I hated the unified front because I had loads and loads of friends who dad would come down hard. Mom would fold. Absolutely. You could go to Margaret any day. You're like, and Margaret was more like, look, guys, Uvi will be in bed by 11.
Exactly.
Just go out the window.
She was
just
like
make sure you're home by
soft.
6 a.m.
Yeah, she was ultra soft. He was ultra hard. It was
and Derek's groundings just meant he couldn't leave. Like, we were allowed to come over and drink beers with him still at 14, but he just wasn't allowed to go anywhere until like 11 or 12 when Uve went to bed, and then we sneak out. But I always looked at those people like, wow, that's awesome to have that ununited front where you can make headway with a mom or a weak dad or something.
Yeah, I didn't have that either. So
mine was to the minute. If my dad grounded me for 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks to the minute. Oh, awful parenting. Awful. It's terrible. I never learned my lesson.
Turned you into the disciplined individual you are today.
Right.
Ultra disciplined.
Do you know what a pussy I would be if I had kids?
Oh, I know.
Dude, I keep telling you I want to babysit Sweet Pie one day just because I think she's hilarious. But I would be probably a really shitty babysitter because it'd just be like, oh, I think I want more candy for dinner. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, I think that's a good call.
I'd come home, she'd have your Glock in her hand. She'd be playing video games.
It's not
with the
loaded.
Other hand. Yeah.
It's not loaded. I'm not crazy. I wouldn't give her a loaded Glock.
She'd have the keys to your car.
Yeah, she'd be driving it just around the block.
Swimming alone in your pool.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
you'd be.
I'd try. But yeah, probably not. You might want to have like Beth here with me if I do.
Okay,
that'd be a good move. Like, let us tandem do it, so that just in case I get put in a position, she can be the parental unit, so to speak, that says, no, you're not having Snickers bars for dinner, Sweet Pie. Sorry. Anyway,
did you have any kids come here?
Not a one, dude. So, I watched the Michigan game uninterrupted. I didn't go out of my way to avoid them. I had a couple 5-pound bags of gummy bears
at the ready.
Had any children come by, I would have just walked through the kitchen to the door and just dropped a 5-pound bag of gummy bears in their sack.
Open your pillowcase. Nope. Open it a little wider. Bam.
Yeah. If some kid would have come with one of those cheap plastic pumpkins, I would have just set it right on top of it.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. So, but nobody came by. Not one. I didn't even see anyone walk by. But it was dark out, and the Michigan game was on. So I don't know.
I wonder. Yeah, you do live in a very snobby area, as we've talked about.
No, I don't.
I wonder if
Beth got cleaned out. She was working, and so she just left a bowl, one of those. So when I say she got cleaned out, it could have been by one asshole kid that just went by and went, oh, wow, you're one of those people that's going to leave a basket full of goodies out on the porch. Who's not going to clean that out? But yeah, she said there were kids like crazy.
I never did that. I don't know. I guess maybe I was
always
pussy.
Honest too, dude.
Really
I never dumped it.
I maybe would have taken 2, I suppose, but I certainly never
dumped it.
Yeah, just took handfuls and said, oh, well, honor system.
We all know kids that would have, though.
Of course.
T-Roy would have cleaned the bucket out. You kidding me?
And then he would have robbed their house.
They would have put the bucket through. He's probably listening right now.
Put the bucket through the front window. Climb in and take the TV.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Troy.
No, but he probably would have taken all the candy, and I can't blame him for that. I mean, we'd all think about it. But so yeah, she had people. I think there's just a little bit too much. First off, my street is a dead end, so there's no way to like continue through the neighborhood. So it's really kind of, and then there's a big neighborhood right next to you, and there's a big gap between my street and the next street over.
Really rich people in that big neighborhood. So can you imagine what they give out?
Yeah, but a lot of times they're really cheap. Some guys are cool and give you full candy bars, but Mitch Albom probably gives pennies or apples.
Maybe he writes out news articles or
handwritten notes. Happy Halloween, child.
Right, little
a life lesson.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was really trying to think. More like
on individual cards
signed by Mitch A.
Yeah.
So but there's
excerpts
those
from his book. What if they were excerpts from his
stupid
he just cuts them out and signs them. Signs a page to each child that comes by. The 5 people you meet in heaven. Page 1. So yeah, but if you go to those streets, because I know the ones you're talking about, some of those houses are insane. But the problem is there's like 4 houses on a street.
Yeah,
you're not going to make you'd have to be at it all night to make a serious dent.
Yeah, it's not a good efficient Halloween track.
Yeah, and those folks don't want to be that close to me, so they put some woods in between us to keep the riffraff out of the rich neighborhood. Those people. So if you hit my street, to get to the next one would take you 20 minutes to walk down.
No, you're right.
So it's really worked out well for me because I don't want them coming by anyways. So it was fine.
So what did you go out as?
I didn't dress up.
You went to your
you were
party.
At the foam party, right?
Well, I did 2 things. I did the foam party on Friday night, which was Devil's Night. And
I thought that was Saturday.
No, that was a Devil's Night party. And then Saturday, I did go to a friend's party. And then we went to a different party, which was very fun. And I will say when I got there, dude, the second party was in like a neighborhood, but they had it was really pretty tits. They had 2 big tents with warmers in it.
Yeah.
And they had a band playing, like a legitimate band playing. You had to pay $10 to get in the end, actually.
Really?
Yeah. There was kegs, but we missed the kegs. We got there late. But everybody was
$10 and didn't get the keg?
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off. We got there late and didn't get the $10 was supposed to be because there was kegs. But we got there. I know, dude. There was only 2 kegs, and I think in the end, definitely kind of got screwed on that.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Yeah, I would agree.
Luckily, you could bring in your own beer because it's not a bar. It was a house party. It was essentially a house party. They do this every year, apparently. I've never gone, but they do this every year. And
so you guys had beer.
Right, we had beer. So it's just that we didn't get the keg beer, whatever. Actually, we had enough beer in the end that it didn't matter. But everybody was dressed up, dude. And it really, in the end, I realized I wish I had dressed as something. But my thing with dressing up is I only do it if I think like I come up with something that's funny, that I think is funny, or that's like witty or something. I don't like just putting on the hockey, or not the hockey mask, but just putting on the scream mask and say, oh, I'm, whatever.
But you were your regular normcore self, right?
I wore some clothes that I got from Gary, the dead body expert.
Nice.
That one.
Normcore from head to toe.
I just wore my normal stuff, what I wear.
So people probably thought you were dressed up as an asshole.
Well, I did tell a few people I was dressed up as a disappointment to my parents.
Perfect.
Which pretty much was a true thing. But no,
dude, there were people that went out as you for Halloween.
I did
that
see
is
that.
Hilarious to me.
I did see that. That one dude was really funny. I thought.
Oh
Spencer,
my God. Yeah.
Especially because when he added himself into the Mackinac photo.
Did you show your sister that?
No, but I will.
So Mongoloid, Aaron Rodgers, your sister, TCG, and him.
Then he threw myself in there.
There were a couple people I saw that were like, oh my God, it even looks like TCG behind him. That's fucking awesome. And I'm like, that is TCG behind him.
Because he photoshopped himself into my fake vacation photo in reality. But
that's awesome.
That was very funny, dude. That was no, you know what bummed me out? Looking back at it later, I realized that it was obvious for me what it should have been this year, and it should have been something with Back to the Future. But I didn't think about it until last week.
Why Back to the Future?
Because Back to the Future Day was just there the other week.
Yeah.
So it's like it would have been something I could have done that I liked, but whatever. I didn't dress as anything. It was still a fun time. Whatever.
How was the foam party?
That was intense for sure.
Was it good? That's expensive, right?
No, you know what? It was expensive if you bought them if you waited. I bought mine a month ago. So I got mine for $13 online. But if you went up that day, it was $25.
Yeah.
Did
you meet any sweet chicks last time you were all over that one?
No, right? I did not. I did not really.
That was the black chick, right?
No, she was just a real fat one.
Oh, that's right. Well, the black chick was out of town, Cleveland.
Yeah. But I will say, dude, it was what was that? What's this we got here?
These are
okay. Yeah.
The Detroit cast Halloween.
Oh, Bobby fucking Gallagher.
Bobby fucking Gallagher. Can you make that picture bigger?
Awesome,
dude. Yeah, Jay and I threw out last week, hey, we'll give some prizes away, and we got a pair of Michigan State tickets coming up for the Maryland game.
Maryland on the 14th. Yep.
Yeah, so just a couple weeks. And so we were like, oh, let's just do a Twitter thing. We'll you can dress anything show related, and we'll just throw it out there. Hashtag the Detroit Cast Halloween, and we'll pick a winner. And we did it so last minute. It was like we had a few days before the weekend. I figured, there'd be one hardcore person that would throw something out. We got like 5, 6, 7 entries.
Yeah, all the entries were good.
They were all good.
Jose Hoseby. We had Abby. We had a couple.
I didn't see the Abby.
Throw on some pipe cleaner glasses.
Where are my glasses? Mama, where are my glasses?
Yeah, I thought go back to Bobby Gallagher. Bobby fucking Gallagher. This is funny because it says on the note on the wall, I look 25. Call my mom. I'm a champion. My cat Jada is a show cat. Nobody can do what I can do. Bobby fucking Gallagher. And then it's
nobody can do what I can do.
She's dressed up like on a bike.
Because we don't know what Bobby Gallagher looks like.
Exactly.
So it could be anybody.
Absolutely. But kind of bundled up and
holding
has
a trophy.
The snow boots on, holding a trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a champion. He's a champion.
Oh my God, that's a snowboard. Because he said he could ski or
downhill skiing. I also downhill ski.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, so it was like, what, 10 million people in the country? I mean, maybe more. I don't know how many people downhill ski.
So that was really funny. What were some of the other ones?
The peanut butter and jelly one I liked.
Peanut butter and jelly one was good. Big E. I love the Big E mouth. The dude, what he's doing with showing his grill. It's pretty genius.
First off, he's got the build for Big E, which helps.
Yeah.
He's got the retarded looking goatee.
He's got the stupid
you gotta
shirt.
Show the other one. Show where he inserted himself into. Okay, it's not. You know what? That might have been only might have been only on Facebook, that version.
I sent you that one, Kadog, in your email. But yeah, the peanut butter and jelly one was hilarious by the Costas.
Had a combo one by Matt, I think, where he did a bunch of different shit. Officer Walters.
That's right. Officer Walters. He had duct tape on his stuff. He was taking a knee in reference to Big E. I noticed that there were a lot of references in there. So he's taking a knee in reference for Big E. He's got bullet shell casings all over the ground for Officer Walters. He's wearing a state police for Officer Walters. Soccer ball for Jay.
Drinking a Blue Moon for me.
Yep.
What's around his neck?
Is that a referee whistle for Jay? Coach Jay.
Okay.
The duct tape all over the shirt. Brilliant.
I think
he's got
E-glasses, and I think he's even kind of created a greasy plume.
No, what he's doing, I believe, with the glasses is a thing that I do, which is wear my sunglasses just over my regular glasses.
Oh,
so
I think you're right, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going on.
I was thinking that was a cop look, but okay.
No,
I think you're
sure
right,
that's what
dude.
that's in reference.
And he has
to.
a son in the picture, like a Proops.
Is that a Proops or is it a line? It looks.
Well,
it's a Proops. It's got to be.
Well, no, but it could also be Cecil, I suppose. But I'm assuming it's just a Proops.
Oh, it could be Cecil. Yep.
Which actually Cecil covers both.
And the Kitterman's great. I mean, that takes some lengths because he had to grow a beard for that, and then shave it into a Kitterman.
Yeah, it looks real, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is real.
So who wins, Mike?
I don't know. We're gonna have to take a vote or something. I thought when I saw the Costas come out with peanut butter and jelly and the crime scene on the street. Did you see that when
Yeah, that was amazing.
I thought that was gonna hands down game over right there. But I didn't expect the Big E guy to come in so strong. Didn't Jim Fox do a Big E as well?
Yeah, at the party he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about it, and at the break we'll decide.
Okay.
Why don't we do that instead of putting ourselves on the spot right now? So
yeah. Okay.
Hey, you know what? Before we get on to other matters, though, we've got big news in terms of a new sponsor. Kyle Mayer and Company Accountants is coming aboard. So welcome to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this segment of the show is brought to you by Mayer and Company Accountants. Paying taxes sucks. The whole process is confusing and time consuming. Let Kyle Mayer and his firm handle your personal or business taxes. We know that Big E has no clue where the bean even is, but Kyle Mayer counts beans for a living. Call Kyle at 248-521-0016. Tell him the Detroit Cast sent you and receive 10% off your year-end tax preparation fee.
Very cool. Welcome aboard, Kyle. I hope people will do that. Taxes are a bitch, dude. I hate taxes. I mean, not I hate taxes. I hate even dealing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
brutal.
Yeah.
Let someone else do it.
Yeah, for sure. So thank you, Kyle. Welcome to the show. Dare I say a big one. On a Monday after Halloween, we've got a security guard accused of, some shenanigans. Homeless theme party, Notre Dame sex scandal, sorority shit. Sorry, dude. Ketchup Girl, great video there. Some officers accused of some misconduct. I don't know what this is all about. It sounds like a fraudulent story to me by the AP, but we'll take a look. More Halloween stuff, as you would expect. You want to mention that as I just blew that in your face?
I do. Great Lakes Vapor. Are you ready to quit smoking once and for all? Great Lakes Vapor is here to make that a reality. Their e-cigs are handmade and guaranteed for life. Check them out in person off Grand River in Brighton or off Orchard Lake in Farmington, or shop online at greatlakesvapor.com. They have everything you need mailed right to your door. Greatlakesvapor.com is the best place to order refills of all their GLV juice. Use the promo code DetroitCast. You'll get 10% off all online orders.
Yes. And please use them. We're getting close to Christmas time.
Oh, what a great time. And New Year's resolution time.
Huge. Yeah.
Come on, people.
Everybody's got diet, exercise, and quit smoking on their New Year's resolution. That's
who smokes anymore. Come on, be done with that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
a lot of people do,
well,
but
that's what I'm saying. Be done.
It's
everybody knows it's bad. Everybody knows it's way too freaking expensive.
Yeah.
If you need an alternative to help you quit, I've watched my man here quit.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a freaking heavy smoker.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy smoker.
You know what's funny about that, dude, is like at the place I was at Friday, they had outside the club, they had a tent, another tent where a DJ was playing, but you could smoke in this tent.
Nice.
And it just made me realize how, like, back when I used to go out every weekend, how shitty that really was. I guess you don't think about it when it was happening. And then I was sitting in that tent for like, because my one friend does smoke. And I was thinking, after like a minute or two, I was like, dude, I'll meet you back inside. I could not sit there inside that tent with that cigarette
it's almost
smoke.
amplified now that the change is made. And it's been how many years since that?
Yeah.
But yeah, when you sit in with somebody now, at least me, and I guess you too.
Dude, even when I went bowling on the weekends, I would come home that night and my shirt would just reek of smoke. And I think back to
So what would you do? Would you actually wash your shit back then?
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Someone washed it, but got washed somehow.
It just appeared folded in my bedroom.
Right. Somehow it got washed. But
what an asshole.
But it just makes
38 years old.
I wasn't 38 then.
Yeah.
So 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But it just made me realize there's one of those things where I just forgot what it was. Once in a while, because we don't have it anymore. In most places I go anymore, even Chicago, you can't smoke in bars. I don't think you can in Ohio. So I'm sure there are states where you still can, but I don't go there.
So right there's another argument for an e-cig.
Right.
The practicality of
well, your car smelling like shit, your clothes smelling like shit.
Yeah, whatever.
Your fingers, your teeth.
Your teeth smelling like shit.
Looking yellow and shit.
Yeah.
Right? That's a smoke. Is that a coffee thing or a smoke thing? Well, whatever.
Yeah, it's both. But yeah, cigarettes don't help. Anyway. Halloween tragedy. You did some trick-or-treating, obviously, with Sweet Pie. Unfortunately, Russ wasn't able to make it. But how bummed would you be? I think you'd be pretty bummed if you got taken out by a car as you're trick-or-treating.
I'm always struck, man, by...
So are they.
I know. In a neighborhood where people... Like, it's Halloween, dude. Can you slow the fuck down? There's kids everywhere in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm always struck by how these people travel through there.
Yeah, I think at Halloween, it's got to be 5, dude, maybe 10.
Why? Exactly.
I drove through my neighborhood this Saturday. Actually, the only reason I did it is because it was raining so much that I was actually really interested to see how many people were out. And so I kind of normally when I would drive another way, I'm right by the edge of a neighborhood where I can leave this way. But I went through it, and I went like 7 through it. But yeah, I can't believe that people would drive.
So you intentionally drove through a crowded Halloween area.
Dude, there was not crowded in the end. No, I did it because it was raining, and I really was just interested to see how many people were out. Dude, I didn't see almost anybody in the end because of how crowded or how rainy, how shitty it was by our house anyway.
Well, where did this happen? Was this in a subdivision or?
This was in New York City.
All right.
On Saturday night, killed 3 people, including a 10-year-old girl.
Ouch.
Yeah. Just before 5 p.m. in the Bronx. You would think it'd still be light out at 5 p.m., right?
Absolutely.
By the way, that's one more thing. I don't know. Is it 6 to 8 everywhere now? Like when I looked out when I was at my house at 6:30, I remember as a kid, I swear to God.
We didn't go till dark.
It was dark. In fact, you waited. That was the deal, right?
Like the whole deal was wait till dark.
You wait till dark. It is not as fun to me. If it's light out, the fun is that when it's dark and the pumpkins are lit and stuff. I don't know.
I agree. I got pictures from my sister of Eid out trick-or-treating.
Broad daylight.
Dude.
Sun is shining.
Sun shining. There's like shorts and t-shirts. They're in San Francisco or that area, Northern California. It was like, that's not Halloween. And he's being, his dad's
walking around like a panda
bear with his dumb orange plastic pumpkin as a bear, whatever he was. I don't remember what he was. But yeah, it was like, wait a minute, you can't have screaming blue skies and sunshine and be out trick-or-treating. What's that all about? You want kids with maybe a reflective something on at the most, and you send them out alone when it's dark.
That's what always struck me about that the movie E.T. and the Halloween scene is how light it was out.
Oh, was it?
Maybe that's like a regional thing. Maybe they do that out in California. Remember that scene where E.T. goes out as a ghost?
Yeah.
It
was probably just for lighting purposes. Probably. Of the movie.
Totally light out though. That always bothered me.
Yeah, if I would have paid more attention, that would have bothered me as well. The victims had been trick-or-treating when a car driven by a 52-year-old went onto the sidewalk and struck them. Luis Perez, 65-year-old retired veteran, suffered head trauma. He died at the scene. 24-year-old Christian Lika and 10-year-old Niana Aquil were taken to the hospital. They were pronounced dead later. Lika was watching his little sister, this 10-year-old Fiona, when the incident occurred. Moments before the car came crashing through the group, he pushed his sister to safety, they said, which I don't know how much of that, yeah. Witnesses said she broke her arm in the process. The car came up very fast. He pushed her out of the way. He saved her. The car hit him, and he went into the wall. His head was crushed. Yeah. That's not good. The driver was Mr. Howard Unger. He was hospitalized as well. I hope he's going to be all right. Charlie Castagnazzi was a witness there, told the New York Post that he heard a car accelerate before the crash. The driver sideswiped the bus before driving through a metal fence on the front yard of this home. This guy said that an official told him the driver appeared to have a seizure, which I guess that'll get you off the hook.
Yeah. If
you have a seizure. Christina DeJesus, or DeJesus, a hospital administrative assistant, said that she saw a man whose body was torn in half. Imagine that Halloween scene for the kids. There was a young girl on the side of the car. She was like, "Can somebody help me?" I was screaming at her, "Whatever you do, don't move." People were trying to get to him, screaming and yelling. He was more scared than anything because people were trying to threaten him. So people want to beat the guy. That'd be really hard not to beat his ass.
Yeah.
Not knowing what's going on, but yeah. That'd be tough. I just don't like how light it is out there. If they would have waited a couple hours, this guy crashes into an empty wall. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, he takes out a few arborvitaes and some bushes, but
arborvitaes.
We're not dealing with 3 dead and a guy cut in half.
Arborvitaes. Do you even know what an arborvitae is?
I said it, didn't I? Sure. I've heard other people say it.
I do remember this. Yeah, man. You're right. Yeah, dude, you're right. I forgot about how bright it was.
Remember the older brother has like the axe in his head and E.T. wants to heal him. He thinks it's like a real.
Oh, and a real axe wound. The dog's out. Oh, they dressed him up as Jay's favorite thing, a ghost. Love it. Did you see, we're hearing reports of needles found in candy bars.
I always thought that was just a myth. They're actually doing that, huh?
Yeah. Police say needles have been found in candy handed out to trick-or-treaters in Philadelphia, in a suburb of Philadelphia. A needle-type item was found inside wrapped Twix bars given to 4 different children on Halloween night. They're urging parents to check all candy that they were given. People who have leftover candy are also being asked to check it for possible tampering.
God, people are pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Why would you ever?
Police say
what enjoyment do you get out of it? What's satisfaction? What are you doing?
You're not even going to see it happen.
I know.
For one, by the way.
Well, you'll hear about it.
What I did.
Look at that, dude.
The kid doesn't even know I put a needle in there. The kid's probably going to chew on that and just kill his mouth. The fuck? What is the thought process?
Just see if you can get away with it, being a dick, thinking it's funny. There have been so many stories over the years of
you
razor blades.
Used to be able to take them to the police station and get it x-rayed.
Yeah, they still do that.
And nobody freaking used to put needles and razor blades in it. Like it was always just a myth. People were just afraid of that. It was in a horror movie once or something, so everybody x-rayed their shit.
I don't know where that started, but yes, I think it has been found that there has never been a case of razor blades or needles being actually in Halloween candy. I know when you think of our lives growing up, that's when it started with the whole take it to the police station or the library and get it x-rayed.
It just became a community event, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I never did it.
No, I never did either. But it just became this local news rallying point, I think.
I think there was one story of a guy who claimed that someone poisoned, like his kid died, and there was poison in the candy. And they were trying to say that he got it, but it turned out he did it himself.
Oh,
I was gonna say that'd be a good way to.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
And I don't know how I don't remember where I watched that, but yeah, he was some psychopath that did it to his own kid.
I remember it was always back in the day. You'd get apples, and it was like, don't ever eat an apple. There's razor blades in the apple for sure.
As if you wouldn't see the insertion point.
Well, or as if you'd eat the apple.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. Seeing a razor blade shoved in there. Yeah, I remember with Deuce just taking, we got an apple, just hucking it down the road.
I don't remember getting many apples.
Yeah, we used to get like popcorn balls.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of those.
Apples, get the the things of pennies, obviously.
We did have
a
a
smart ass fucking dentist.
I was gonna say we had that. Yeah.
Smart ass dentist. Yeah, Trudy got blasted on the air for years because it turned out she was giving out pennies, and we just killed her.
What was she ever thinking? Acknowledging
dude, that's kind of what Drew was asking her. Like, seriously, who
Yeah.
the fuck gives a stack of 5 pennies in a baggie to a kid?
Was it she put it in baggies?
I
Or
think
did she do
so.
the tape, the masking tape?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was just like all of us were just like, what?
Yeah.
pennies.
Can't do that.
Yeah. I can't believe a house like that wouldn't get egged more often or something. Maybe it did. I don't know. But
so this guy said police say a man reported the incident, said he saw a Facebook post from an unknown source describing their Snickers candy had needles in it. A 12-year-old boy turned in a Snickers bar with a similar sewing type needle on Sunday. He told police he had been trick-or-treating in the same area as the other children. So, I mean, somebody, whether they were given out at the store, if some stock boy thought he'd be funny.
Hilarious.
How are they ever going to know? There's like 8,000 bags sold here. So it's not known if it was tampered with by the person. You know, that seems like it'd be really hard to prove, though. You know what I mean? Like when you, because there's just so much of the same candy out there. I mean, how many Snickers bars do you get? 100?
Yeah.
Twixes?
Right. It's not some obscure like Mary Jane or something.
Yeah, or Neckos. You know those little
yes, I know Neckos. Little chalky ass round things.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't put a needle in Neckos, Mike. Don't be unreasonable.
I don't think you could put one in
a Mary Jane. You totally could.
You could,
because you'd lick it and you'd suck on the thing, and then it wouldn't hurt you like a bite down would.
I mean, if you're gonna go this route, I think you gotta go Snickers. You gotta go Reese's.
How are you gonna how are you gonna needle a Necco, dude?
You're not. I was trying to think of an off-brand that wouldn't be that many of them. Like if you'd remember the Necco house.
Yeah.
Be like, oh yeah, I got that at Mr. Detroit Cast's house. Of course.
The Detroit Casts are giving out friggin' chalk. Neckos. Mary Janes are the friggin' worst, dude. Look at that. These are
awful.
Bit-O honey.
Dude, I liked those.
You did?
My dad back in the day, I think I mentioned this. He loved the Bit-O honey.
Yeah,
man.
I was a fan too.
To this day, if I want to get him something for birthday, just little things, I'll get him like Bit-O honey. Yeah, those crappy ass. Oh, what are those things? Those black and orange.
What kind of candy is that? I still don't know.
It's like a caramelish.
And honestly, I don't think I know because I don't think I ever ate it. I just saw it and I don't even think I've tried it.
It has a peanut butter center.
I think it's like
a
taffy.
Yep. Peanut butter kisses candy. Yeah. They're not that bad. You should give
Circus peanuts.
There was a brief time when I liked Circus peanuts. That'd be easy to tamper with.
You could slide a needle into a Circus
for
peanut.
Sure.
Easily.
No doubt.
How about a Peep, dude?
But he gave Halloween Peeps.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Look at it,
this is why I mentioned it, Peeps. I spent part of Halloween night, making cupcakes.
You did?
Yeah, Sweet Pie and I. So there, yeah, the ghosts. Okay. So Gab goes to this band thing, and she's like, "Hey, Sweet Pie, we're having her birthday party tomorrow." Sweet Pie's birthday was a couple weeks ago, but we didn't have time for it.
Right.
So we scheduled it when we could. And so her birthday party was Sunday, day after Halloween. Be that as it may, we had cupcakes. Gab had made the cupcake. I had to decorate it. So I had to ice the son of a bitch, put one of those damn Peeps on it. I had to crush Oreos to make dirt like a graveyard. And then I had to put candy corn. Well, me and Sweet Pie did.
Yeah.
So there I am on Halloween night.
By the way, does she stink at doing that at her age?
She was way better than me.
Really?
Listen to me. I had to cut with a bread knife. I had to flatten these things so that the damn Peeps would stand up on it.
You had to flatten what? The cupcake or the
Peeps?
The
cupcake. You know how the cupcake has like a
mound. Yeah. Sure.
I had to cut the freaking top of the cupcake off. Sweet Pie and I had to lather that shit with frosting.
Yeah.
And then we had to do the Peep, the candy corn.
Get it to stand up.
Yeah. So there I was with friggin' Peeps, man.
How did they come out?
I thought they came out great. And then get this. So then we go to the party today, and Gab's like, "Oh yeah, we've got way too many of these. So we're gonna use the ones that I did, that I iced with just pink icing." So all these freaking Halloween ones went to waste, dude.
What? Why didn't you bring them over here?
Gave them to a soccer team today.
What?
I know. I spent like an hour and a half.
Oh,
it was like a cupcakery in my kitchen.
Dude, I gotta admit, no offense, but I was kind of bummed today when you got here. I assumed, like, without question, that you were going to drop a pile of candy, bags of candy, and then
had Russell been out, you'd have 10 pounds of candy up there.
Yeah, just what I need.
Right.
I mean, I just figured that for it'd be like house teen candy. Like you're the only one that was going to have an opportunity to be around that much candy. I figured you had an obligation to the Detroit cast.
I'll bring you what some of my players on my little 11-year-old dudes brought me some candy today.
Okay,
so I'll bring you all that.
All right. Yeah, Peeps. Wow, look at those pumpkin Peeps, ghost Peeps.
They're expanding. They used to be obviously just Easter, and now they're moving
for
into other
years.
things.
They were just Easter. Before we left for the weekend, this happened on Friday. We had students held a rally for the police officer that chucked that girl around in class.
Right.
Ben Fields.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, though, she had a GoFundMe set up, and I saw, like, after 6 hours, somebody emailed in. After 6 hours, it was like at 17 grand. So I can only imagine.
Are you shitting me? See if you can find the GoFundMe for her. Right? I don't think they announced her name, though, did they? They were blacking her name out forever for that student. Well, the students all want him to get his job back, and so like 100 kids bailed in class and protest and stormed outside.
Yeah, we've talked about the high schoolers protests before.
Yeah,
they protest with such vigor.
Well, here's the only difference that I see in this. These kids actually knew this guy and are around this guy on a day-to-day basis.
He's a football coach too, right?
Right. So that's the only difference, because you and I, as you said, have talked about this. Last time we talked about it, it was Michael Brown, I think. And there were numerous schools that were coming out protesting police violence. And it was like, oh, please, if you can't see this, because a lot of people were like, oh my God, these children are so socially conscious.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, no,
they just want the afternoon off.
They just don't want to go to class. Are you shitting me? We would have done anything. It literally could have been a march in support of AIDS and cancer, and we would have been like, yeah, dude. It would have
been like a Nazi march.
Yeah.
We'd have been out there with high stepping it.
Goose stepping across the parking lot. Whatever.
Get the afternoon off, right?
I'm done for third and fourth hour. We got a lunch in between. We're good. Yes, I'm all for it. Nazi party. So that's the only difference I see in this story, is that they actually knew this guy. So probably still an opportunity to get out of class, but whatever.
Well, and they probably knew the girl too and knew she was a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she's at 43K.
Wow.
Almost 44. You know what that does? Makes me pissed off at our listeners.
Yeah. Well, the only difference there is they've got national support for this one, which we don't quite have.
Yeah, I thought it'd be way higher at this point.
But I wonder if this is bullshit. I wonder if this is just we should have done this. We should look for community or for outrage moments in history and just set up GoFundMes in our name and act like it's going to the victims, because they haven't announced who the victim is. This just says support Spring Valley victim, unless I'm wrong.
Jane Doe.
Oh, the law firm. Dude, the Detroit cast firm. We've got a lawyer on staff, right? We could pull this off.
Totally.
Jane Doe. Oh, what are the odds that her name is
totally
Jane
defraud the public?
Well, we won't tell our listeners. Our listeners will be in on it.
Yeah.
Detroit cast fans will not be defrauded. We won't even ask them to contribute.
Just the general public.
Just the general public, that the faux outrage folks.
Gotcha.
That's who I'm going after. That's our target audience, is the super outraged.
Okay.
Good. All right. Jay doesn't seem as on board. Big E, we got a task for you.
I mean, from what
Jay's
I know,
all of a sudden above defrauding the public. Nerd.
Several 200s.
Kind of bummed that a guy named Eric gave $10 to this.
Wasn't you, was it?
No. But still, carrying the Eric name.
The kids said they wanted to support the cop and help protect his reputation as they marched out of classes on Friday. Students chanted the cop's name and wore T-shirts saying "Free Fields" and "Bring Back Fields." They didn't return to classes until the principal arrived, saying he had respectfully listened to their protest and expect the students to get back to their lessons. Senior Landon Harrell. So we just want to show that we're still supporting him and that he's still a good guy. We don't want his reputation to be ruined because of something that happened on Monday. I addressed the students to let them know that we understood their need to make their voices heard. Then I reminded them that Spring Valley High is all about the business of teaching and learning. So it's time to go back to class, which they did.
Socially conscious young people.
Oh, yeah. And then, unfortunately, I've got a very disturbing story.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's rather lengthy, too.
Oh, boy, this one, yeah.
Yeah, it's a piece done by the Associated Press, those monsters. Rather credible monsters, but, so they start off talking about flashing lights piercing the black of night. The big white letters made it clear it was the police. The woman pulled over, was a daycare worker in her 50s, headed home after playing dominoes with friends. She felt she had nothing to hide, so when the Oklahoma City officer accused her of erratic driving, she did as directed. She would later tell a judge she was splayed outside the police car for a pat-down, made to lift her shirt to prove she wasn't hiding anything. Textbook. And she was told to pull down her pants when the officer still wasn't convinced. Anyone have a problem with any of this? You got to find out what they got on them, right?
I think we need an image.
I think she's a Jane Doe as well. He shined his flashlight between her legs. I never know what she's.
Whoa, good. This is a lie.
This didn't
Can't
happen.
be true.
This didn't. I was absolutely expecting a different victim. So he shines the flashlight between her legs, then ordered her to sit in the squad car and face him as he towered above, his gun in sight. She pleaded, "No, sir," as he unzipped his fly.
Liar.
And exposed himself with a hurried directive. Come on, I don't have all night.
Wow.
In a year-long investigation of sexual misconduct by U.S. law enforcement, the Associated Press uncovered about 1,000 officers who lost their badges in a 6-year period for rape, sodomy, and other sexual assault. Sex crimes that included possession of child porn, sex misconduct, propositioning citizens, or having consensual or prohibited on-duty intercourse. What's the problem with that? I mean, 2 consenting adults agree to terms of a deal.
1,000 officers lost their badges in what time frame?
6 years. Yeah, there's a couple million officers though. There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah. These are 1,000 who were identified,
right,
and investigated, and thereby lost their badges.
I have more of a problem with this. I don't understand. Like if I have something you need, you have something I need, I pull you over, you've clearly broken the law, and we're at a standstill. We could take this further, or we could maybe come to some sort of an agreement. I thought that's the way this business works. Couple consenting adults. Am I right here?
Yeah.
I mean, this just doesn't seem all that over the line to me.
I think it only goes over the line if she says no, that it becomes a problem.
Come on, I don't have all night.
Right. That's what I think it's over the line. I think if it's propositioned and they're pretty much on board right away, like, I don't want a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
Then I think it's okay.
The number is unquestionably an undercount because it represents only those officers whose licenses were revoked. It's happening probably in every law enforcement agency across the country. It's so underreported, and people are scared that if they call and complain about a cop, they think every other police officer is going to be then out to get them.
Although, actually, you know what?
They should.
You know what? I just thought about this. I'm not for this anymore.
What?
Because think about it. I'm not a cop, so this isn't going to benefit me. And no dude cop is going to ask. For the most part, the chances are a dude cop is not going to ask me. It's going to. The only benefactor from this is going to be hot young girls that cops want to have sex with.
Don't sell yourself shorty. If you bat those eyelids.
Well,
dude, Troy and I did that.
Okay.
To a couple female cops.
That's rare as fuck, though. Rare as fuck. The majority is going to be the other way around. So you have to, and I don't have a silver tongue like maybe some people do. So
like Troy and I.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to talk myself into that. So you know what? Bring the hammer down to these motherfuckers.
Silver tongue. Yeah, silver tongue Troy.
Well, I'm just saying I don't
bring the hammer. Come on, man. These are my boys. These are my boys in blue.
No, you know what? It's not going to affect
Officer Walters and his team. This could affect the way I do my policing.
But it won't benefit me in any way. So you know what? Fuck these guys.
It's so underreported. People are scared if they call and complain. There's going to be that the police are going to be out to get them. Sexual misconduct by officers has largely escaped widespread notice due to the patchwork of laws, piecemeal reporting, and victims frequently reluctant to come forward. My God, JL said she thought as she eyed the officer's holstered gun, he's going to kill me. So JL is the initials of the girl that we're seeing there.
Right.
She was let go after the traffic stop without any charges. It's what we call in the business a win-win. Let go with no charges.
Right.
She is one of 13 women who say they were victimized by this one cop, a former college football player who played at Eastern, by the way. Daniel Holtzclaw. What a football guy's name. Daniel Holtzclaw. The fired cop, he's 28. He's pleaded not guilty. Each of the accusers is expected to testify in the trial that begins today, including one who was 17 when she said the officer pulled down her pink cotton shorts and raped her on her mother's front porch. Now that's over the line. That's a cop who needs to be, sternly talked to from his sarge. I mean, you can't just go
stern warning.
Yeah, you can't just go raping people on
not on a
mom's
porch.
Their
not
mother's porch.
Get it inside.
Come on,
take it inside, officer.
You don't want to just go all willy nilly pulling down pink panties on mom's porch. Come on, officer, you know better.
Public decency.
I mean, I hope he's at least seeing some desk duty for a week or two. That's outrageous. Meeting in 2007, police chiefs gathered for an annual meeting in 2007. Saw a discussion on sex offenses by officers added to the agenda. More than 70 chiefs packed into the room. And when asked if they had dealt with an officer accused of sexual misdeeds, every attendee was, oh, yeah, we got one.
Wow, man.
We got one Officer Walters on our team. Oh, yeah.
So all these pillars of the community making the judgment calls.
Well, it happens. 8 years later, how many law enforcement are accused of sexual misconduct has no real answer. Of those that did release records, the AP determined that some 550 officers were decertified for sexual assault, including rape and sodomy, sexual shakedowns in which citizens were extorted into performing favors to avoid arrest, or gratuitous pat-downs. That'll tell me how to pat down my perps. I
don't think that's what they're talking about.
I know what I'm doing with my pat-downs.
I don't think that they're not going to avoid about things. They're talking about random pat downs that they don't need to be done. My man.
Well, some 440 officers lost their badges for offenses such as possessing child porn. Wow. Being a peeping Tom.
Jeez.
Well, they're keeping an eye on their communities, man. You see it as a peeping Tom. I see it as vigilant.
Right. You do need to
keeping an eye in the neighborhood.
Right. If you really want to.
What's going on in there? What's going on in there?
Just making
everything above board in there.
It sounds like there's just some guys who really.
Hey, they're just a microcosm of society, right? I mean, it's going to be filled with.
It's a great point.
Peepers as well.
It's a good point. Or having on-duty intercourse. I still don't know what the problem is with that, but whatever. Victims included unsuspecting motorists, school children ordered to raise their shirts in a supposed search for drugs, police interns taken advantage of, women with legal troubles who succumbed to performing sex acts for promised help, the prison inmates forced to have sex with guards. The AP's findings suggest that sexual misconduct is among the most prevalent type of complaint against officers. Phil Stinson, a researcher at Bowling Green, analyzed news articles between 2005 and 2011, found 6,700 arrests involving more than 5,500 officers. Sex-related cases were the third most common behind violence and profit-motivated crimes. What, you can't... I'm assuming that means you go to a crime scene and, it's a drug bust and there's some money laying around.
Off the top?
Yeah. I mean, that's... it's either going to go in the locker at the station and sit to rot forever, or you peel a few off the top, right?
Put it back in the market.
Yeah.
Helps the economy.
Absolutely. In Connecticut, William Rusko of the Trumbull Police began a 30-month prison term in January after pleading guilty to the sexual assault of a 17-year-old girl he met through a program for teens interested in law enforcement.
God.
Case records detail advances that began with explicit texts and attempts to kiss and grope the girl. Then one night, Rusko brought her back to his home, put his gun on the kitchen counter, and asked her to go upstairs to the bedroom and shit. Despite telling him what felt like 1,000 times, he removed her clothes, fondled the titties, and forced her to touch him. At one point, he cuffed her hands. So I don't know if they were playing or if he just...
Yeah, it sounds like they weren't.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if the cuffing...
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. You never know.
I guess we'll never know because we weren't there.
No.
So we can't really say. In Florida, Jonathan Blyweis was sentenced to 5-year prison term for bullying about 20 immigrant men into sex acts. Now that's what he would end up with. He would end up with Officer Blyweis on him. I don't know what you're doing with those other 19 immigrants, E, but you're all blowing each other in front of Blyweis. Oh, si, senor.
What if?
I don't want to put them on Big E.
No,
Dude, what if you had a warrant that would mean
We've
you're?
already talked about this. I really wouldn't do it.
That's right. We have gone over this.
We have literally had this conversation.
We've covered all these scenarios.
Oh yeah. You're telling me you wouldn't jack off Jose if it got you out of being deported for some reason?
Dude, you said you'd do it to a random for $60. So why not a cop?
I'm not really
That guy right there looks like a nice guy.
Upstanding young man. Who is that? Is that Officer Blyweiss?
It is.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Look at that guy.
Isn't that like exactly like the other guy we were talking about last week? I don't even remember why, but he was bald, had a big head. Where his face was too small for.
Yes.
I mean, he looked like
that's what happens to people who are fat and bald. Their face looks way too small for their head.
Well,
looks
his looks
exactly-
proportionate, sort of.
I know, but like everything
The
else
other guy-
about him.
Yeah. No, you're right. It
I
does
mean, I
look
swear
similar.
to God, I felt like I was looking at the same person.
Because the victims wouldn't testify, plea deal revolved around false imprisonment charges. So they didn't get him on sex. So he didn't have to register as a sex offender. In New Mexico, Michael Garcia, I don't know why.
Why are we even talking about another country?
Yeah, why are we going through international laws? Was sentenced last November to 9 years in federal prison for sexually assaulting a high school police intern at the time he was in a unit investigating child abuse and sex crimes.
Jesus, yeah, boy, Christ,
Yeah, boy. Now that seems over the line. That he needs a stern talking to is what that son of a bitch needs.
The fox in charge of the hen house, huh?
That's right. You see officers throughout your career that deal with the power really well. You see officers over your career that don't. He said Oklahoma City Police Chief Bill Kitty, who fired Holtzclaw, the best chance of preventing such incidents is to robustly screen applicants. Those seeking to join Martin's agency are questioned about everything about porn use to public sex acts. Investigators run background checks, administer polygraph exams, and interview former employees and neighbors. That seems like you're going above and beyond, right?
Yeah.
You're doing polygraphs on these guys? Holy shit. Social media activity is reviewed for clues about what a candidate deems appropriate or red flags, such as the objectification of women. We're hiring from the human race, and once in a while, the human race is going to let you down. I agree with that.
Once in a while, it sounds like it.
Yeah, like
I think-
6,700 times.
Yeah, I feel like the human race lets me down
Like constantly.
Constantly, I
Yeah.
feel like it's definitely more the.
There are way more Holtzclaws
Right.
out there than Mr. Detroit Cast. Let's just say that.
Weren't you a part of this screening process recently for an
I
acquaintance?
actually was. That's the funny
You don't have to
thing.
say
I
who
was.
it is,
I was going to
obviously.
mention it, but yes, I was.
You were part of the screening process.
I had to fill out a in-depth questionnaire for a person who was going into something like this.
You know why he gave that to you to do that responsibility, right?
Because he knew he was pliable.
Yes.
Say this.
Yeah. Say this. Tell him
And
I'm
you
a
did
good
it,
guy.
didn't
You did. You sold him. You didn't sell him out.
No,
You buried
I
some
just
shit,
answered
didn't
the
you?
questions.
Did you bury some shit?
I answered the questions
Did you do
how
it
I figured they should
truthfully?
be answered.
Completely truthfully?
You buried some shit. You changed the subject on his form, didn't you?
I think.
You weren't forthright.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Would you have written the same thing down under oath?
He was under oath.
I don't know. I'm not going to answer that. So I plead the fifth.
Is he a cop? Is this relative from another state a cop?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Good job. E.
I think they I think when they were putting names down, I don't know if they just didn't think that it was. I don't know what the situation was. I can't believe them. I don't know why my name was put down.
He put you down as a reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he listed
it
five
was
people or something.
it was very in depth though.
I would put you down as a reference. Because I feel like I could buy you'd be buying.
No, I'd be
I could buy
afraid
and
you'd
pay.
fuck something up. Like you'd
Yeah.
accidentally, put like.
Well, I would be trying to be good, but I think that
I think you could be bought and paid for, and that's not a knock. So can I.
Be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I
course I
flipped
can.
you $100 and said, "Dude, if someone calls,"
Totally, but would you trust him to answer properly? If
Yeah,
you put a not instead of a,
yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Jay is a great guy. He would put Jay is not a great guy.
Could I trust
fuck
you on
it
a
up.
form? Could I put
I
you
would be
down as?
completely honest.
Oh, geez. So
I
in
know.
other words, no. Kadog, could I trust you? Come on,
I
man.
you didn't even
Come
need to
on.
open up the mic.
He opens the mic and then just goes.
He says
silent.
everything without saying a word. You really
Yeah.
are an asshole. I'd have your back, Kadog.
I somehow doubt that.
I would. I would have blast you on here, but
You'd say K-Dog's not so bad.
yeah, no, he's all right. I mean, if that's the direction you guys want to go with your hiring, whatever. No, good.
Yeah.
Like
I
man
hope-
buns.
I
You like
hope
man
that-
buns.
I hope that works out for you guys. You know,
I would have went in a different direction, but
Yeah.
more power to you is what you'd
you
say.
limited choosing pool. Is that what the problem is? No, no, I'm sure he'll do great for you. No, good hire.
I was actually
Let it go at
pissed.
that.
I was actually pissed in the end that I had to do it because
Why?
it was such
It was a lot of
pain.
work.
It was a pain.
I remember
in the
him
ass.
sitting here like 3 nights in a row
I really
trying to type
thought-
out
seriously?
the answers. Yeah.
Because I remember thinking when I got the text.
Fuck, dude.
When I got the text about it, I remember thinking, okay, whatever. It's just gonna be questions. You know, there was absolute questions that were meant to be paragraph answers and shit. And I was just
Really?
like, ugh.
Like, what would be an example?
I
Like,
have to look back on them.
I mean, you
But
don't
it
have
was
any examples. Like, did you guys
very-
ever drink together? Go, bang
Very
chicks?
specifically, like, what are their drinking? You know, what are their drinking habits? How many
And
drinks
that's
have you
where
seen them
you
at
were
one?
less than forthright.
Dude, I can't imagine anybody answers that question. Like everybody, and anybody who likes to drink, not everybody, but anybody in their life who has liked to drink has drinking 8 beers at a
So
night
did you
one.
mention that?
Of course not. Of
I
course
mean,
not.
you know what? I mentioned honestly with the person I actually was talking about, I have never been drunk with. So I was actually no, I have never. But, oh no, that's not true.
I think you
Once.
take that with a grain of salt. I mean, on references, do many people put down a reference that's not going to stand up for them?
No, I think you have to be an idiot.
I've
Right?
never-
Right. Yeah,
I've-
you'd have to
I've-
be an idiot to put someone down that's not going to have your back. That's why when I read this, it was like when they're talking about polygraph and screening through your social media, that's stuff where that's you being you, where you're not relying on Big E or,
Mhm.
you know, like Derek used to put me down for references. There's no way I would sell him out as
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, we got hammered one night and
Right.
did X. Like I would never tell someone that. You know what I mean? Like you just, who would?
Yeah.
Right. No, I know. So what value is
Well, you
a
would,
personal reference? You know, what do you just
Yeah.
what do you expect?
Yeah, I have never with jobs. You're right. And the other thing, well, here's another thing on jobs. I have been fired twice from jobs. When I'm looking for, like, when I was putting in my thing for Tim Hortons and stuff like that, they
You
always
didn't
say,
reference putting your dick out in the middle
No.
of a restaurant.
they say like, have you been fired for any job? And if so,
I
why?
actually have. I've worked for a restaurant just prior to this
Right.
where I hung my dick out.
Of course I, but no. Like who puts
Oh, and I
yes
drained an entire keg.
At a
Right. In
holiday
another
party.
instance.
who puts a yes on those?
I'm on their
things?
permanent no hire list now.
I just can never imagine who puts a yes under there. Unless you really feel strong that you are fired.
Oh, a person who respects the fact that they're signing something under oath.
Oh yeah, the guy applying for a gig
I don't
at Tim
think
Hortons.
I don't think my Tim Hortons application is the same as
Sure.
the other thing.
I mean, I could see if you're getting in on the new firm, but at Tim Hortons, really.
Not worried about the Wendy's or Tim Hortons that I was filling out applications for at the time.
So anyway, back to the story. The screening procedures vary among departments. We're hiring from the human race, so that's when he says we get let down. Holtzclaw was a high school star, football star in Oklahoma, standout wideout at Eastern Michigan University. He wanted to go pro. He constantly focused on the NFL. He found traces of that life on his traces of life on the field in his life on the beat, telling a reporter that he enjoyed high-speed chases and once charged through 2 fences while pursuing a suspect on foot in the snow.
Nice.
I love that shit. He eventually wanted to join the police gang squad. Her accusations made Davis and fellow detective curious about an unsolved report filed 5 weeks earlier. So this chick filed right after he was like, "Come on, I don't have all night," and that she went to the police department. I think she got swabbed, and so these detectives are like, let's look back at that case we had a few weeks ago about an unidentified officer that did some shady shit.
Mm.
And so they started looking into it a little bit and were able to match GPS records with other ones that put him at the scene. So they think this guy was doing this to like 20, 30 chicks. Yeah. GPS on his patrol car put him at the scene of the alleged incidents. Department records showed he called in to check all but one of the women for warrants. So would that mean that the one he wasn't checking for warrants was one he would have?
I'm not following that.
Okay. So he's checking them for warrants because that gives him a play.
Hmm.
Oh, you've got warrants for your arrest. Well. Which,
Right.
I mean, see if we
At that
can't make
point,
a
it's
deal.
Supply and demand.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. You scratch my balls and I'll scratch your back. in 2013, the detectives had assembled a 6-month narrative of alleged sex crimes. They said started December 20th, 2013, with a woman taken into custody and hospitalized high on angel dust. The woman said Holtzclaw coerced her into performing oral, suggesting that her cooperation would lead to some drop charges. I didn't think that no one would believe me. I feel like all police will work together. All told, he faces 36 counts, including rape, battery, forcible oral sodomy. He does have supporters. His attorney says the line of questioning at the pretrial suggests he will raise doubts about the accuser's credibility, of course, and portray investigators as having coaxed the women into saying they were attacked. See, that's the problem. And a lot of these victims know that. Like, look, I'm basically a girl on the streets with a drug history. Like, who's going to believe me?
Right.
You know, and so a lot of them don't come forward. The youngest accuser said Holtzclaw first approached her when she was with 2 friends who were arguing, and he learned she had an outstanding warrant for trespassing. He let her go, but found her again later that day, walking to her mother's house. She said he offered her a ride and then followed her to the front porch, reminding her of the warrant, accusing her of hiding drugs and warning her not to make things more difficult than they needed to be. No problem so far. She claims he touched her titties.
I can't imagine why some people don't like cops.
Well,
crazy.
And slid his hand into her panties before pulling off her shorts and raping her. When it was over, he told her he might be back to see her again. I don't know what to do. Like, what am I going to do? Call the cops? He was a cop. Diane Wettendorf, a retired counselor who started a support group in Chicago for victims of officers, said most of the women she counseled never reported their crimes. She saw women whose homes came under surveillance, whose children were intimidated. Fellow cops refused to turn on one another. It starts with the officer denying the allegation. She's crazy or lying. The other officers say they didn't see anything. In 2011, a report from the IACP recommended that agencies institute policies specifically addressing misconduct, saying tolerance at any level will invite more of the same. The report also urged these stringent screenings and hirings. The organization also is encouraging chiefs to hire more women and minorities as a way to improve the environment inside departments. What you want is a culture that's dominated by a bunch of people that reflect the community. I think it's more simple than that. I think it's power that some people can handle and some people can't. I think it's as simple as that. I mean, maybe minorities would help, but I think it's more of a power thing.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't get why the addition of minorities would change that issue.
Right.
I think that's right. You've got the power to do it. You're alone with this person. You can do it if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And most good people choose not to, but there's some bad ones who definitely take advantage.
Yeah. And if you got away with some of that stuff, like, you know, there's plenty of books out there on cops. There was that one we were talking about not long ago about the New York cop that was making shitloads of money just by like being the first guy on the scene.
Recently, right?
It was a book he came out with. I don't know. They might be making a movie out of it, actually. The Dirtiest Cop in New York or something, in the history of New York. And it was just like, and this is back in the 80s, I think. But he was going into houses, like first guy in the scene gets to take whatever, and they would just clean these drug houses out of money and shit.
Just normal course within the whole precinct.
Yeah, right? It was a way of, just, what do you think? So,
thinking, well, I make shit anyway. I'm putting my life on the line, so I'm going to resolve it.
Supplementing your income.
Yeah, that's how I sleep at night.
Yeah. Officers sometimes avoid charges. They can beat a conviction because they are so steeped in the system. They know the DAs, they know the judges, they know the safe houses, they know how to testify in court, they know how to make her look like a nut. How are you going to get anything to happen when he's part of the system, when he threatens you, and when you know he has a gun and you know he can find you anywhere you go? Holtzclaw has been jailed since July. He was out on bond too, if you can believe it. But
and honestly,
he let the battery die on his ankle monitor, so they chucked him in jail.
Like they said in that thing, and they kind of said it in there already, but even if it's this guy even if the guy gets caught, you still pretty much, wouldn't you be fearful of every other cop in that department, that they would be just nonstop trying to make sure to get you on speeding at something or just anything?
Yeah, the more you hear about this shit, I mean, you can't blame the public for looking sideways at the profession.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, obviously, it's a small minority when you talk about the millions of cops out there.
Still, you're talking in 6 years, 1,000 went to the length of having their badges taken away for sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
Again, you could say this with anything. Like, drunk driving. You get caught once, that means you did it 50 times before, you know? So it's probably
very rarely is it the first night.
Yeah, tip of the iceberg. Probably.
Maybe. Yeah, no, it's a disturbing story. It's in the Associated Press. If anyone wants to read more, there's more to it for sure.
Hey, do you know that Krista Jelski of Remax Suburban can help you buy or sell a home even if you're looking or live far away? Krista can find you an excellent realtor anywhere in the country. Call Krista and she will be able to connect you with the best local realtor for all of your real estate needs. Check out her website at kristasellshouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900.
Did you see Ketchup Girl? Have you seen this video?
No, I've heard about it.
Have you?
What's the deal?
Well, her name's Angelic.
Ooh,
which is good, right?
Lovely.
Angelic Vale, 23. She's from South Florida. She's charged with inciting a riot. Seems like a weird charge. Indecent exposure, lewd and lascivious behavior, and disorderly conduct at the Johnny Rockets restaurant. Which is, you ever been to a Johnny Rockets? It's like an old, it's like an old style
diner
burger and
kind
malt
of thing.
Place.
Okay.
Something you'd see in the movie Pulp Fiction or something.
Okay.
So in Miami Beach, her father appeared in court, told the judge she has mental issues. The video was posted to World Star Action. The woman, dubbed Ketchup Girl, is shown taking her clothes off as she's surrounded by men in the middle of this restaurant. You guys want to see the video?
Do you want to see it censored or uncensored?
I'll go uncensored.
What kind of question is that?
Personally, I'll go uncensored.
Jeez.
I just wanted to throw it out there.
Should we take a vote in the room? Anyone?
So that you would know that McCard would only give you one option. I just wanted to make sure you know you had two.
Right. I'll take
put it on the feed.
I don't care what she looks like. That's the dumbest question I've ever heard.
Look at her go, man. Look at her go. Oh, shit. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
She actually inserted a chair.
I don't know that it's insert. I think she's just acting like she's riding it.
Ugh.
Not bad, right?
Portrait.
Yeah. Bend over.
What a psycho, man. Hey, this dude's clearing the table. Oh, no.
Yeah, boy. Look at all the cameras and the dudes.
She's laying on her. Oh, my God.
Dude.
Dude's flicking her beans.
Ah, boy. Pouring ketchup on her. This is in a restaurant. Her dad says she's got some mental issues. Well, these guys seem...
These gentlemen aren't objecting. They seem downright pleased by this conduct.
All right, enough of this. This is going on for 5 minutes. It's time for us to step in.
Yeah, the manager trying to bust it up. What the fuck? Excuse me, young lady.
It's time for you to go now, man.
We're going to have to ask you to please stop engaging in that.
She says, I don't bite.
She's completely nude.
Oh, yeah. He's like, all right, fine. I'm out.
What the fuck was that all about?
Dude, have you ever seen anything like that? Did it just start over? Or
you know,
she's
still
like
in
the
broad daylight in the middle of a burger joint.
World Star,
Yeah,
yes.
it's just a different.
She's kind of hot, though.
No, she's not.
She's got nice tits.
Look at her go. She just lays down and spreads it.
And of course, a guy's going to flick the bean.
He just reaches in there, just starts flicking.
Get on in there.
Stop.
Jesus Christ. Look at these animals. Do you imagine if that was a dude? What the how
Different,
entirely different that would go if that was a dude jumping up there wagging his dick.
Got his ass beat.
Instead, it's like hot. Hell yeah, world star.
I don't know if that I'd necessarily be one of those guys up front. But what would you do if you're?
It's a spectacle.
It'd be impossible not to
look and be like, "What the hell is going on?"
As you could see in the video,
I'd probably take a picture too. Like,
oh hell yeah, you got to shoot video of that, right?
Like, I don't know how you couldn't.
Portrait.
Yeah. Oh
I mean,
yeah.
the only way is obviously,
I'd
with
do
his
landscape.
family. Then you have to like. But me being just like a
Well,
single
I think
guy,
you avert
like,
Sweet Pie's eyes. You don't want her to see that, obviously, but
me being a single guy, like, how am I not taking up? I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna be
It's a
dumping
train
water
wreck. You
on
can't
her.
turn
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
I gotta dump water on her and some.
I think you do your best to cover Sweet Pie's eyes while you're watching the train wreck. I mean, that's all you can hope for. I mean, what are you going to do? So some poured condiments on her, as you saw, in water. She smiled and danced, people are holding up their cell phones. The one guy touching her exposed genitals as the others are gawking. She ends up nude on the table, covered in ketchup. Workers finally throw her out as we watch in the video. Miami Beach police said she left the restaurant holding a towel and a two-piece bathing suit. Look me up on Instagram and Facebook, she said as she was walking away. The video was finally posted to World Star Hip Hop. There she is. It has more than 1 million views and 13,000 comments, most of which expressed disgust at her actions.
What?
She seemed unrepentant, though. She posted on Instagram. She's like, y'all just mad because you weren't there?
Yeah.
That shit was fun. Now that I remember it, yeah. Arrest me. It was fun. Take me to jail. It was fun. And everybody looked like they were having fun too. So yeah. Police finally tracked her down. She posted another message on Instagram. I'm going to jail tonight. Remember me, okay? I love all you guys. Police are still trying to find the guy that was flicking the bean. They want that guy.
That guy who diddled her.
Yeah, but can you blame that guy? I mean, in the heat of the moment.
She didn't look like she was objecting.
Absolutely not. I mean, yeah, it's in public and it's a family restaurant and all that, but
somewhat lewd, I'd say.
Maybe a tad lewd, perhaps lascivious, but what are you going to do? I mean, in that moment, I could see E like trying. He's got to learn.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, he'd have no idea where the bean was.
Yeah.
He'd have no idea what to do with that.
It wouldn't even matter if okay, just say that, take that out of it. I wouldn't be up front there, grabbing her titty. If
you were drunk, you would.
I would, but that was at a Johnny Rockets. I wouldn't be. It was in the daylight. I'm probably not going to be drunk at that point.
Yeah, you never know.
Starting right now and running through Saturday, November 14th, you can save an additional $500 on every pre-owned vehicle at Zott Ford in Holly. It's super simple. Go to ZottFord.com, search their pre-owned inventory, select the vehicle you want to buy, subtract $500 off the already low internet price, and that's exactly what you pay. This is only for TDC family, and this is only good until Saturday, November 14th. If you snooze, you lose.
Did you guys see some of the costumes that were causing outrage?
No, I really didn't see any stories like that. Obviously leading up to it, we saw the blackface stuff. And
yeah, which always goes over well. They've gotten to the point where if you dress as an Indian,
dot or feather,
feather, we usually see the most problems with. And I'm not saying like
Squanto, Running Bear.
Absolutely. Little Feather, or was it Little Feather?
Little Scout.
Little Scout. Yeah, Little Scout.
My dad was Little Big Feather, brother Little Feather, I'm Little Scout.
Yeah.
I don't know how that plays, but
it was just like a chick in the headdress. But if you're a celebrity, that's all it takes. You're a monster. Someone had one that was going around. People probably saw this on Facebook or on Twitter or something. But someone went as like a rape victim, and they were dressed as and it looked like, so they had the colored sweater arms around their back and like a body stuffed behind them with Cosby's head. And so it looks like Cosby's just behind them. And so this person's carrying like a drink and they're standing like this. It's just this Cosby face behind him. Hey, he's wearing the sweater. There it is. Yeah.
I think I saw,
dude,
if not this one, other people doing it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Isn't that hilarious? People were outraged by that. Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I always like when people add like a body to their body or make that part of their body like into a horse or some shit.
Totally.
Sort of an optical illusion using the limbs and all that.
Yeah. Who was it that years ago got busted? Was it Prince Harry or William? One of them?
Yeah, Harry was dressed up as Hitler, didn't he?
Or as a Nazi? Was it Hitler?
Oh, maybe it was just a Nazi in general.
I think it was just a Nazi. I don't think it was full on Hitler, but
yeah, but he had like the Nazi armband.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like the perfect Halloween costume almost, doesn't it? When you're talking about villains and scary things or monsters.
I guess. I mean, yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Harry the Nazi.
I don't know. Yeah, but it seems like when you get down to Indians,
Native Americans, Mike.
yeah. The other outraged one I saw was someone went as a Syrian refugee.
How do you know they're a Syrian refugee?
Because they posted, I'm a Syrian refugee, and they had like the hijab over their head, and then they had like a baby stapled to their chest, and they're just going to a party. But people are just taking headlines out of newspapers and finding a creative way to be that for Halloween. Like that's what the holiday is.
Right.
So if we can't, as a group, decide like who couldn't see Caitlyn Jenner and Bill Cosby for Halloween coming?
Right.
Syrian
I don't think
Caitlyns.
I didn't see anybody.
You didn't see anybody, Caitlyn?
No, and I actually didn't see any Cosbys, which is shocking to me.
Yeah. Probably because
Cosby
people
might
were
have been
afraid
hurt, right.
that so many people were going to do it. How are you going to creatively do it? People are going as shark attack victims.
But I wasn't at, you know what I would say? I was at a decent amount of people, but I wasn't at a real big, like maybe a bar, I guess, when there was a ton of people.
Yeah.
You know what I always like? Honestly, I do always like about it, going to the bars when people are dressed up. As stupid as it sounds, like it's funny to me to see these characters drunk or something like, oh, there's Batman and he's hammered. Or like, you know what I mean? I saw like a Buzz Lightyear smoking a cigarette.
There's no way Batman is going to exact vigilante justice this evening. He's hammered in the corner.
It's just like, I don't know why. So there's like these TV characters. Like, it's like those are the funny ones.
Lightyear smoking a cigarette. That's
but
hilarious.
Yeah, Buzz Lightyear just lighting up. It's like, okay.
No, we're getting to the point though where if you want to just be acceptable and not face outrage from some idiot, you can go as a superhero. Ghost, I think Ghost is still on the list, right?
Yeah. That's getting touchy though.
Ghost? Is Ghost going over the line now?
Sure, you could make an argument about anything.
Yeah,
you're offensive.
You're right. You're right. Anyway, why don't we take a quick break? We've gone a little long here. And we'll come back and talk about some Virginia students who are in some trouble, a little hot water, and then more outrage at a college, sorority, and Notre Dame coach, a lot of stuff. We'll get to all that next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey there, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. People always ask me, can you get me the friends and neighbors discount? For a limited time, the answer is yes, I can. You see, Ford employees have a special deal they can give their friends and their neighbors. Now we're making it available to everyone. During this rare opportunity, the low price you pay could be hundreds, even thousands lower on almost any Ford car, truck, or SUV. No hassle, no joke, and no time to waste. Stop by Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98, select a new Ford of your dreams, and let the hottest sales staff in Oakland County give you their friends and neighbors discount. It's that easy. Oh, and you'll receive a TDC t-shirt signed by the boys.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast on a Monday, following the Halloween weekend. And what a weekend! Michigan State was off. Michigan played though. Should have lost, but ended up pulling it out. You probably didn't get to see it, but
I didn't watch a second of it.
Yeah,
I heard there's a big goal line stand, right?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing actually at the end. I mean, more Minnesota failing to
Execute.
Yeah, coaching really more than anything. So anyway, Michigan won, but
how about those Lions, huh?
Ugh, dude. Yeah, that was brutal. That was unwatchable. They're unwatchable.
I didn't watch one play.
Yeah,
Me
good
either.
for you.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I didn't mean to say that as a thing. I'm glad. I actually was glad we didn't talk about it earlier because I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I
Is it
woke up-
time? I don't mean to be a dick. Honestly,
No, you're being
I know,
a dick.
I know a lot of people out there care, and I don't mean to be a dick about this at all.
Yeah.
But really, really, people, rethink it.
Yeah.
There is freedom out there. You have no idea how free you can be on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I've achieved it. It's there. You can do this. You can do
What if
this.
you don't want to do it?
But you do. If it's causing you as much frustration and heartache as people describe.
Yeah.
People are calling into shit. People are posting shit. There's freedom from this.
Yeah. I just don't understand what you do as an NFL franchise when, when you start off like that, it affects it just chain reaction for the whole season. Like you can just tell this team's just like, oh, season's over already. And they're just mailing it in. You should never get beat by the Kansas City Chiefs 45-10. And the 7 was end of the game, who cares, touchdown.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was just, they did their usual, march down the field, kick the field goal right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And then
they didn't score again until late in the fourth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was brutal. Gave up sacks like crazy. Can't stop the blitz, firing all the coordinators they did last week. It was awful, dude. It was painful to watch. I mean, if I was on that team, I'd be praying for away games. Why would you want to be at home and deal with a crowd that either won't show up or is going to boo you?
Well, that's it right there. Why would the crowd show up?
Yeah.
You paid to see football, I guess. Okay, you've already invested in it. You're going to see it
the
through.
tailgate.
Yeah.
Seeing the same people for your tailgate every
That's
week.
true.
And there's only 8 of them a year. It's 8 weekends. There's 8 home games. So, yeah, it's not like baseball where you got 162 games. That's why you start 0-3 and it's fucking done, man. The percentages of teams that make the playoffs after an 0-3 start are almost none.
Yeah,
1-7.
20% of your season is done.
Yeah. So
you got no wins.
Yeah. Just wouldn't expect that from an 11-5 team. But anyway, yeah. So,
hey, are we in position to declare a winner of our Halloween contest?
I think you had more votes than most. So,
what do you mean?
Who is the winner? You were able to do your lawyer magic and sway the crowd, I felt like, but whatever.
Well, there was a couple of reasons why. Whatever.
No,
Spencer wins.
It was very hard because I honestly I thought they were all really, really good. I really did. Even the guy that did where are my glasses?
Where are my glasses, Mama? Where are my pink glasses?
The simplicity of it was the brilliance.
It was. I agree with that. The pipe cleaner brilliance. Fashion pink glasses out of pipe cleaner.
I'm Abby.
And then just sit there with a selfie like close up.
It was good stuff.
I respect it.
In the end,
Spencer wins it.
I think we love the Costas with the peanut butter and jelly. I think we Matt Mader had a great one with a whole bunch of stuff, taking a knee, soccer, Officer Walters, proofs, like all that stuff was great. There were a lot of the Bobby fucking Gallagher was 5-star, but we could not stop laughing at the Big E one, photoshopped on the bridge in Mackinac with Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers and TCG and E's sister, which was real. Those are the actual people, and the way I don't know, it just looked really fucking funny. So.
Spencer, you got it, buddy. So hook up with Big E. Message Big E, or Big E, why don't you do the courtesy of messaging him?
Yeah,
get out in front of this one.
That's fine.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So Big E will hook you up with the tickets and some TDC swag. So
Very good.
thank you for taking part, everyone.
Did you want to read something?
I do. Zott Ford wants to go above and beyond to make TDC family happy. So for a limited time or until it runs out of space, Zott Ford and Holly will take anything in on trade toward the purchase of a new or pre-owned vehicle, as long as they don't have to feed it. You got a microwave? Bring it. Television? Done. Blow dryer? Yes. Last week's birthday cake? Yum. The proops? Nope. They need to be fed. So hurry down to I-75 at exit 98 with whatever you have to trade in for cash when you buy or lease your next vehicle from Zott Ford. I love his Spencer's mouth, man. Showing the grill, I think, was the key to that.
Yeah. He lost points when Kadog figured out that actually later in the night or the next night he went as Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, he did
another event.
This costume all night long.
Yeah, which put him on the fence.
Well, I don't think that Costas didn't go to a party
as PB&J.
They just an image. So. In fact, I don't know that anybody.
Aaron Rodgers. That's so funny.
God, I can't believe your sister is the female version of you two.
Look at that.
That's frightening.
I can't.
Look at those beady little eyes on her.
Yeah.
She's kind of got the E eyes.
Got the grill going and everything.
Nice grill.
Who's got the grill? You take after your mom or your dad?
I think my mom.
Yeah. Your mom's got the big chompers.
I don't know.
No, not really. You look more like your dad.
Well, I look way more like my dad.
Yeah.
In general. I actually was saying that just because my dad has.
But there's a fadey grill, though. You see that?
Yeah.
It's very distinct.
Yeah.
And that's what Spencer was trying to capture, which I give him credit for.
He did a pretty good. I'll give you. I remember my image in this. I remember my facial expression in this image that he's replacing even, and he kind of did do a pretty good job of what I looked like in that picture.
Really?
Yeah, here.
I'd love to see a comparison next to the actual picture. Do you have it?
Yeah, somewhere on my face.
Hey, who wants to drive around looking at houses in the snow? There's still time to find your own fadey manor before the winter weather hits. Call Krista Jelski of Remax Suburban. She will get you into the home of your dreams before the holidays arrive. Check out Krista's website at kristasellshouses.com or call her anytime at 586-918-0900. That's 586-918-0900.
Any lucky?
It's going to be just a little bit because this is from last year's, not this year's.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Actually, here this might be. Might have it here.
Might or does?
Yeah. No, it's right in this. I'm right in the area where it would be. Where the fuck? Come on.
You do it every year. There should be a million images of you walking the bridge.
Well, I don't know. Let me keep looking.
We got a couple of female students who've been reprimanded.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. After wearing shirts with a racial slur written on the back of them for Spirit Week at a Virginia high school. Two seniors who were white had written, "Nigga, we made it." AH.
Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm. They replaced the IG with 16.
Oh, that's
for 2016.
clever.
Right. Kind of clever to represent that they were from the class of 2016. How stupid do you have to be in an environment like today? Seriously. Now, what they were doing, these are phrases from lyrics to a Drake song and Soulja Boy song in 2013. The song "We Made It." The school representative, Valerie Cotton Gym.
What?
Valerie Cotton Gym? Seriously? Cotton Gym. Said it doesn't matter if the line came from a song, just because it's music.
Sure, it wasn't
lyrics.
Cotton Eye Joe. It's Cotton Gym.
Cotton Gym. COTTONGIM.
Interesting.
Just because it's music lyrics doesn't make it okay in society. You're not Drake. You're not Soulja Boy. Don't use it. Cotton Gym said the school investigated the photo but would not disclose what punishment the two girls received. The principal apologized for the incident.
Dude, that girl looks like she has cheetah legs. Like it actually looks, obviously they're leggings, but they actually look like cheetah legs, don't they?
Is that?
She looks like Chitara.
Yeah.
From Thundercats.
Yeah. I would think that would be easy to do with cheetah spandex, right?
That's kind of gross looking.
I don't want her getting credit for something that would be very, very simple to do.
Yeah, it would be.
So the school apologized for the incident, the principal, and said that the school would provide counseling to students. and work with the community to make sure it doesn't
Counseling this.
the students need counseling for this outrageous incident. I'm glad they're reaching out to community leaders, though. That's good. Get some nice community leaders in there to help these students get over this tragic incident. A couple high school students, just stop it. Seriously? I wonder if anyone's going to utilize the counselors that they're providing.
Here we go, by the way. I found it.
Oh, so did Dog. Which one got it first?
Yeah, he's definitely mimicking the squint. The squint into the sun with the grill showing.
Can we paste them side by side? Dog, can you work that magic? Is that on the screen?
Oh, boy.
Oh, Dog, what are you doing?
Look at that fadey grill, though. That is a distinctive attribute. Yeah, I'm happy with our selection.
Yeah,
he did a good job.
He even got the hat kind of tilted exactly out as in the picture.
Yeah. You look so retarded now. How does it feel, E, to be? You can forever say that someone dressed up as you, multiple people dressed up as you for Halloween.
It is quite an honor, I will say that.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it, I guess, but it is a good job. He did a good job for sure.
Yeah.
God, that's funny.
Look at Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers.
He's a really good guy.
Like Aaron Rodgers, dude. It's hilarious.
You know what though? I don't know what their Halloween costume was, but when I saw him 2 weeks ago at the Michigan State, he was at the state tailgate party that was at my brother's house, and he had shaved for something they had done. Like, I've never seen him completely shaved. I almost didn't even recognize him.
Really?
He does not look like Aaron Rodgers unless he has the beard. Like, it's really
Why
weird.
wouldn't he just throw on some shoulder pads and throw a Green Bay Packers 12 jersey on?
Yeah.
I'd go all day is that.
Built-in costume.
Yeah.
Their offspring is going to have a toothy grin, man.
You think?
Look at those two.
Yeah, they both have nice smiles.
Yeah. Well, from what I think for the Fady legacy to keep going. Well, actually, there's other Fadies. That's a problem. So there are other, but for my parents, as far as getting grandchildren, I think this is their only hope, probably.
You think?
Definitely not coming from me.
That's true.
You know what? And not that I have had the choice, much of a choice in it, but I really over the last week and then the weekend, I was at this one Halloween party. There was a kind of a family / younger people. So there was like kids there.
Oh, that must have driven you crazy.
The kids didn't bother me as much as one of my decent friend, I guess. But like their mom was at this party because it was kind of a family event. And she was referencing that her one boy has had a kid. So she has a grandkid. And she really was like, oh, I hope so-and-so and them are practicing. And it was like so stupid to me.
Practicing? What do you?
She wants a grandkid from both boys. And it was just so retarded to me. I just thought how dumb it sounded and how stupid that seems.
Oh no.
I don't want kids. Is the point.
I ever heard.
Sorry. That was my fault.
I really made me realize how much I don't want kids.
Yeah. Hey, you fixed it. We got an unedited version of the nigga we made it. They did put 1-6 in all fairness to them.
What did they think was going to happen when they went on this show? This is even.
Yeah, it's
Remember how
mind
dumb
boggling.
high school girls are, though. Don't forget. Please don't forget.
No, I know you're right, but it just seems like.
I mean, the one is wearing cheetah leggings with
kind of hot, actually,
with hand marks on her ass too. So
yeah. Still, I don't know. I would just think that age group especially would be aware of. Maybe not. Obviously not. Anyway, hopefully that they've got enough counselors on hand to handle
help everybody through this.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're going to get through it. So anyway, an anonymous post, and I don't know if I even believe this one. I'll run it by you and see what you guys think. But detailing why black women should not bother trying to join a sorority at Southern Methodist University in Texas. It's gone viral. Shared under the thread, Black Women Going Through Recruitment. The writer says, This is South, hence Southern Methodist University, and a majority of girls are legacies with strong ties to the chapters they join or will join and tend to come from old money. The reality is that black what's PNMS? I'm sure, assuming that's something to do with rushing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are often unqualified for recruitment, low GPA, bad grades, not involved on campus, know nothing about the houses, and are heavily unprepared. No letters of recommendation or letters of support, and generally come from a completely different background, impoverished or lower class. Nice, huh?
This can't be real. Could it?
That's what I'm wondering. I can't be, right? So going through recruitment is 10 times tougher as a black woman, and you'll have to work harder than other white, Asian, Hispanic, and foreign women. Reasons why black women do not and will not get bids. One, y'all are racist and have your own sororities and fraternities. Y'all created them, so how about utilizing them? So they're
y'all.
Yeah. So what are they talking about? Like the only black fraternities? Is that what she's referencing there? Y'all are aesthetically unpleasing to the eye for both activities and the fraternity men we associate with. No, we don't want the house to look like the black and end up as like Gamma Phi, where guys avoid them like the plague. Sorry, but looks matter. Nice, huh? 3, y'all never have letters of recommendation. Y'all have no in-house connections. Y'all go to crappy high schools and generally don't deserve to even be at SMU to begin with.
This can't be real.
Your personalities suck. Y'all are boring to talk to. Not wealthy. Ugh, don't you just hate them already? Don't put in any effort yet expect us to want you. No incentive incentives to forbidding you other than looking diverse. Why do black women think they're entitled to be joining our sororities? Honestly, this puts us off from y'all even more.
I already hated white people going into this story. Why are you reading this?
I know. I don't know why. Another commenter writes that they believe black women are too lazy to get to know the other girls in the sorority, and they just do not fit in with SMU culture, let alone sorority culture. Why are we racist for wanting girls who are similar to us in values and character and background? Seriously? I don't know. I don't even know if I believe that. Do you believe this story? It sounds too unbelievable to believe. Hence, too unbelievable.
People are surprising us every day with the dumb shit they do. So
yeah,
guess you can't put it past them. But it doesn't seem real to me in this day and age.
The hashtag Black at SMU has since brought to light other racial controversies at the school, which has only 700 black students in a campus of over 11,600 kids.
Wow,
that's crazy. Down in Texas. In that same week, the sorority comments went viral. A party was thrown, so they did one of those Halloween parties, like the Bling and Grill party.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Yeah, which didn't go over too well. The party had a guy with a gold grill. There it is, the Ice Age. And you got ice. I don't know. Do you guys have a problem with stuff like that? Parties like that? I think when I see someone like Lil Wayne with a grill and the tats and the dreads, it just begs to be Halloweenized, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of beg for it? It's kind of costumey, just the whole look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get what the whole party is dressed up like.
Yeah, I guess they encourage people to show up and, you know, whatever. We've seen these before. Pimps and hoes party. It's a pimps and hoes party type thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's real or not, but I kind of immediately thought of the Jabril Peppers story that you thought was bullshitty.
Yeah.
Which nobody referenced during the Michigan game.
Yeah. Was there any further reference at all? Not during the game, but in the news?
I haven't seen anything
since we talked about it last
No.
week.
Have you seen anything?
No, but I don't know.
But what? What do you know, E?
No,
you
I
know
just said no.
inside?
No, I'm just saying no.
You still think it's bullshit, or?
I haven't read any more, so I guess why would my opinion have changed? So
well, because the way you said I don't know made it sound like you had something to say.
No, I just meant that I didn't really do much reading of stuff that would have came out anyway. So I could have missed anything that came out, to be honest. And when I was watching the game, I was at a house, and you already said you didn't say anything. So, but I didn't have the volume. Really couldn't have the volume up. So
yeah,
I don't know. I haven't heard anything though. So I guess my opinion's the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the single most boring sentence I ever heard.
Deserved. That drop was deserved, right? Jabril Peppers was dominant again too.
Was he?
Yeah, he is a beast, man. Unbelievable. Had like a 43-yard punt return, 41-yard kick return, scored a touchdown on offense, blew a guy up, was great on defense. Yeah, he's just
what year
stud.
Is he?
Sophomore? But he'll come out after his junior year, right? I'm sure. He's not going to stick around too long, but yeah, amazing. We got a security guard. Stephen Duxbury was arrested this weekend in the murder of Sasha Samsudeen, who lived in this Florida apartment complex where he was the only security guard. Cops say that he broke into this chick's apartment shortly after she arrived home after a night out with friends. Her body was found the next day by police who were doing a welfare check on her. When worried friends couldn't reach her, she was reportedly curled up in a blanket in her bed, strangled to death, with her blouse ripped and a contraceptive wrapper nearby.
Why are you using a rubber at that point?
It's fairly obvious. Come on, think about it.
Oh, is that her?
Why would you think about it?
I guess I don't know.
If you're a rapist.
Oh, yeah. Well, why would you leave it then, I guess?
Just the wrapper.
Oh, the wrapper. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
Her pants, underwear, and purse were missing. Police also believe she was sexually attacked.
That's odd.
Yeah. Why would they
jump to that conclusion?
That seems like quite the leap to
Don't
me.
rush to judgment.
Yeah. As a security guard, he used his access to prey on someone who was very vulnerable. Cops began to hone in on him after they found his fingerprint on the victim's toilet seat. Damn it. Come on, man.
Let's see. What are you doing with your...
I mean, the porcelain's just going to... That's like a window. You got to be smarter than that, Druxbury. Come on. Or Duxbury. Come on, dude. Really? Go to all this trouble and then you're going to leave a fingerprint on the toilet?
How do people... After all the CSI stuff out there, that even though we know that's not how it is true and how fast it really works, how does anyone not use gloves for any crime, anything like this that you know you're doing something serious?
And he would know that there are security cams around. That's
right.
Like doing any crime nowadays seems like if they want to, there's just too many cameras around.
Yeah, too much GPS shit that's gonna put you there when you're carrying your cell phone. Too many searches you do or texts you sent, or like you said, cameras are everywhere. That would definitely scare me away from sort of
raping and murdering someone. Sure.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad
when I made a
thought I may have in the future.
Yeah, maybe 15 years ago, but
back in the good old days.
Footprints on the floor reportedly matched shoes found in his home. There was no indication that he had any kind of relationship other than one of resident and security guard. He has no prior criminal history. The 22-year-old was seen on surveillance walking about the apartment complex around 1:45. Footage showed Duxbury with her. He's married too, married security guard.
That's another thing, by the way. And when I say gloves, and maybe it's just because I don't know, I've watched enough of the stories on this stuff, but this guy's a security guy. Shoes. Dude, honestly, again, I think you gotta get different shoes. Like you need to buy some random pair that you've never worn before.
They have to be really popular.
Yeah,
dude, I think you buy a size 12 if you're a size 10
or something like that.
You
don't wear
you squeeze into a size 7,
right?
Or you get someone that's 4 sizes too big.
You definitely don't
and
wear
drapes all over the place.
Yeah, you don't wear the same ones that you wear at your house on a regular basis.
Yeah, I agree. So at 1:45, she's picked up on surveillance in the place, and they showed Duxbury with her, but he told cops he was merely trying to help her find her keys. He denied ever entering her apartment. In the footage, she can be seen bumping into walls. So he's seeing wounded prey, and he's like, "Oh, this is easy pickings.
This is my chance."
Yeah, she's hot. She is pretty. Police said when the security guard was arrested, he had bite marks and fresh injuries on his forearms. He's being held on first-degree murder charges.
This could come from maybe he just has maybe his wife's just real, into it in bed, into biting and shit.
I mean, I don't know how she was dressed. Was she asking for it? I mean, we can't say. I don't know how she looked on the night of the attack.
Did he interpret a nod somehow?
Perhaps
she'd been drinking. Maybe she was.
She's bumping into walls
and nodding her head. He's like, "You want to do it?" Was that a yes?
Oh.
I think I got the nod. Anyone else see that? Yeah, that's someone who's not thinking about anything else except, oh my God, it'd be so easy.
God, I could take her right
I could
now.
do that so easy. How are we doing for email, Jay?
You have some email, but before we get to that, please use our Amazon link. You will find it on our website, DetroitCast.com, and it's really the perfect way to support our show. You shop Amazon by entering through the link. Amazon then pays us based on the purchases made, so you don't pay higher prices, and we get a bit of a kickback. So please click on the Amazon link and help support us. We do have some email. Tom writes in, I'm writing to you only because I know that Mike doesn't check his email, and I'm not sure that Big
I check
E can
my
read.
email. I don't check the Detroit Cast email.
Right.
I don't get the
God
emails,
damn it.
but I can definitely read.
Ah.
No, I can read very well. In fact, I don't do it as much, but I actually thoroughly enjoy reading. And if I had more time, I would read more.
If you only had more time.
Yeah, if I only had more time, you're right.
If you only had more time.
I don't have it. You're right.
Whew, where could I find more time?
I guess I could leave. I could delete this. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
could. We talked about that on Friday.
You know what, dude? Fuck that. If I had more time, fuck this. As if I just have nothing going on in my life that I have. Christ.
This is my second time emailing you from Denver, says Tom, about Massey, which I think makes me your Denver correspondent. We can discuss my salary
I don't know
later.
about that. What about Jim Fox?
I ran into Massey at the Broncos game this afternoon. He was
What?
wearing all Broncos gear. My question is, why were you not able to convert him to a Lions fan during this epic season? See attached said image for proof. And there indeed
Is
is
it really him?
Miguel Massey sitting outside the Denver game, looking like some sort of organized gig there. He's got like a little tent going on and everything.
Yeah, he's got the band with him.
Let me.
He's one of three pieces, I believe. Does he have perhaps Jeff?
There's three pieces. There is a bassist. I don't know if that's Jeff. I don't see a Yankees hat on him.
But there's Miguel
Wow.
outside the Denver Broncos game.
That kind of looks
Cool.
official too. I don't know if it is, but it certainly looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
it.
The Bolins.
It's like a
brought him in.
sanctioned event.
Yeah. The owner of the Broncos, Pat Bolin's son, invited him to do that. Gave him a tour of the place.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Clyde writes in, Officer Ponch Walters, Halloween candy Nazi and roller skating window licker. Big E's harkening back. Big E's harkening back to roller skating at the Silverdome made me smile. I literally recall doing the same. It was a good time and opened during the late 80s. I would also like to give my approval of labiaplasty. No one wants roast beef for dessert. You guys kick ass and keep up the great show. Good day. I said good day.
They must
Clyde.
have done it longer than I even realized then if he says the 80s, because I definitely was in the 90s when I was going there.
Yeah.
So
I think women are screaming every time we do some story about plasty.
Yeah.
I think we sound like such assholes or such morons about.
Why? What did we say?
I don't know. I
thought Jay was.
I feel like
pretty-
we have a great handle on the vagine. At
Well,
least you and I.
Yeah, we do have a good
He
handle
is
on
like,
it, but
you
when
know,
we start
wander-
talking about menstruation cycles and how those work, and
He's
No,
like
when we
lost
talked
in the
about-
wilderness. You and I, we've got a handle on
But
it.
when we
Yeah.
talked about that story last week, I felt like Jay was pretty obvious, saying maybe we're missing something. You weren't just trying to make brash statements saying this is ridiculous.
I guess I want to see still an image of what these chicks are seeing when they put their yoga pants on. Because if we're just talking about dromedary toe, then I don't think this is like
end of
in
the
need
world
of
type stuff.
surgical,
Yeah.
surgical resolution. But if there's something else,
What are we going for? Are we going for the Barbie doll look? I mean, is that the goal? Anything short of the smooth Barbie doll look in yoga pants? Out?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what these chicks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cliff writes in, the front wheel of a big bicycle is built like a tricycle or big wheel. The crank and pedals are directly attached to the front wheel. There are no gears and chain that offer gear reduction. Direct drive, my man. Inventors at the time had no clear vision of what it should be. Plus, I kind of think with horse and buggy still in use, it would be nice not to have eye, nose, and mouth level following a horse. So he's, of course, talking about those old ancient bikes that were first invented. And we were like, why the big fucking wheel?
Yeah. And the wee wheel on the back.
So the crank and pedals are directly attached to the front wheel. There are no gears and chain that offer gear reduction. So you're simply pedaling that big fucking wheel.
And so the back
There's no-
wheel is just for balance?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
You're just simply spinning that big front wheel.
It's just like you are just pedaling that
like
front
you said,
wheel.
just like a big wheel.
Yeah, no, that's a.
Huh.
I wonder if they're hard to ride. I've never ridden one.
I've definitely sat on them at Greenfield Village.
Have you? Can you drive them?
No, I think what they were is they were mounted and you could like pedal it. So I can imagine sitting on that thing, pedaling one. Can you picture that at Greenfield Village or something?
I've never sat on one.
I can't picture that. I've been to Greenfield Village a number of times. I don't remember that.
Dude, my parents used to have an annual pass there. Oof. It was brutal, dude.
Really?
Sunday afternoon, like we'd go to church and then we'd go to Greenfield Village.
Like how much is it?
I just wanted to go home and watch the Lions so bad, and I'd be dragged to like some Civil War reenactment or Revolutionary War reenactment. Which I know E's gonna go. That would have been cool and shit. But dude,
no, it would have been cool on Sunday when the light
making candles or some shit, you know. And I'd be like,
"Oh, you go like weekly or monthly?"
There were times where we went every week for like 5 weeks straight. They had an annual pass, Mike. They had to use it.
Yeah.
So they'd have all these posted events, and so I'd be dragged, and I was like, again, outnumbered because my brother was just cool with this shit. Like Chet just had a patience that I did not have.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have either.
And so we'd be driving south down 75, put the Greenfield Village thing aside. We'd be going on vacation, and for example, and my dad would be like, "Who wants to stop at the Dayton Air Force Museum?" I'd be like, "No, not me. I want to go to Florida right now.
Yeah.
I want to keep going to Florida." And Chet would go, "Yeah, that'd be cool."
Oh, what a nerd.
I know.
What a nerd.
So
why would he do that? Just to side with dad? Is he sucking up to dad?
Well, no, and he's legitimately a nerd for that kind of shit. So those two always loved that shit. And I was always, big feather, little scout, little scouts on the outside just going, I don't really want to see the Air Force Museum again. And then my mom was just indifferent. Oh, whatever you guys want to do. Fuck.
Oh, that's harsh.
So it was the same thing with Greenfield Village. I desperately wanted to go home. Desperately. I wanted to watch I wanted to take my church clothes off. I had like polyester pants on. I looked like Bobby Brady.
Oh,
okay.
God.
I'm wearing like a turtleneck, polyester plaid pants with like Buster Brown shoes. I wanted to go home.
How far away?
I wanted to put
church?
my tracks on.
Yeah.
And my freaking tough skin jeans, and just go outside with Deuce and swing sticks around and shit.
Yeah, watch the Lions game. This is pre-DVR world too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like
you were missing it. It was into the ether.
It's gone.
Yes.
Yeah, that game does not exist anymore.
But instead, there I am sitting in a freaking Model T.
You know what? The only thing I remember about Greenfield Village, I know this sounds pathetic, but the one thing I remember more than anything is I loved their soft serve ice cream cone.
That's pathetic, Mike.
But I don't know why it was really good though. I get
they sell those everywhere. You don't need to go there.
I know, but for some reason, when I think Greenfield Village, I think
you remember
soft serve
fondly.
ice cream.
See, I don't remember it fondly. I don't have fond memories of that place every freaking week. Think about that.
My parents didn't hate me. They would never torture me and make me miss a football game for Greenfield Village.
Who purportedly loves history. That's insane, right?
That's insane to me. And I like Greenfield Village, and I like that kind of stuff, but not for one that often, and not on Sundays when it's
your dad and Chet are both football fans though, and Lions fans.
This trumped that for them.
But that's not changing. The game is new, and
hell no, it's not changing.
Yeah,
it's fucking history. It's cemented. It's like stopped in time. That damn place.
And
you could go there 50 years from now. It'd be the same damn thing, sitting in a Model T.
There's only 16 games a year. That's the other thing.
I know, man.
Do it in the summer, even. I mean, not that you want. I know. You don't
we
want
were there all year round, believe me. But I'm just remembering mainly during Lion season when I desperately wanted to go home.
It seems like you could. I mean, again, you wouldn't have wanted to do it that often. But it seems like once the Lion season starts, you say, "Okay, we're taking a 16-week break." They have a bye week. That can get you through.
They didn't have a bye week then.
Oh, they didn't do bye weeks back then?
Dude, there were so many events at Greenfield Village. You have no idea. Bill and Cheryl would go through and circle them. I mean, it was like on the refrigerator with a freaking magnet.
I would expect that from Cheryl, not Bill. That disappoints me greatly.
Some of that stuff does sound cool to me, but I would not miss a Lions game now I would, but I wouldn't have back then.
It was bad.
I went to 3 years ago.
Bill writes in on the subject of road trips. We were talking about road tripping last week, and of course, whacking off the whole way. Bill writes in with a road trip story. Guys, it's a long one, but it's a good one. My senior year of high school, my parents thought I was going up north for spring break. I was actually going to Panama City with friends.
You can get away with it a lot more back then.
Oh, hell yeah,
because
dude.
now that, they're going to see your social network post or something. I mean,
I left school at lunch to get my buddy's truck an oil change, and it blew the radiator. Nice oil change. My parents came to pick me up and take me back to school. And when they dropped me off, my mom was so proud I was going up north and not to party that she offered me her brand new 2003 Mustang. Me and one friend drove down to Panama City and partied our asses off for a week. I talked to my parents daily, telling them that we were fishing and cooking what we caught, etc.
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
we got 3 huge bass, a couple trout. It's awesome. There happened to be a little altercation, and 2 of my friends got left in Panama City. So they rode home with us 4 deep in a Mustang from Panama City to Detroit, and 3 of the 4 of us were 5'11 plus. We stopped at, can you imagine sitting in the back of a Mustang like that? Fuck.
In high school, you could do it.
Yeah. Stopped at the one guy's aunt's house in Tennessee, and I called my parents as I did daily to speak with them. When my mom answered the phone, I knew she knew what was going on. Needless to say, I got severely bitched out. We immediately got back on the road, headed towards Detroit. It took 2 years and me going to Iraq for my mom to be able to laugh about it. Now it's a great story between all of us. So what was he thinking? Did we go up north? What was he going to do with the mileage?
That's what I was
freaking
we were all thinking the same thing.
2,500 miles you have to explain on your mom's brand new 2003
right.
Mustang.
We're up north might be 500 there and back.
You're going to try Ferris Bueller and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Come on, Bill. You didn't think that one through.
He didn't care. He was going to Panama City to party like a rock star.
That's true.
Who can blame him?
Noel writes in on the same topic, somewhat partying and road tripping. Hello, my favorite podcasters, including Big E. You guys have read so many of my awesome party stories on air, and I love it. Here comes another one. First off, I have been a van owner for several years since my first minivan in high school. I've been through about 6 now. I buy them cheap, and they're usually old. The reason I buy vans, you asked, to cart my band and equipment trailer around, and the fact that it's a party on wheels.
Rock on.
I just bought an awesome van. It came with a Super Nintendo and a bunch of games, 2 TVs, a front and back stereo system, and all the sweet mood lighting and sunroofs you can think of.
E would love that.
It also has the individual blinds and the extended roof like Jay described on Friday's show. It isn't the best on gas, but with the proper care, it should last a while. This brings me to recall a story about driving one of my vans to spring break in Florida. I went with my younger brother and his friends. We got about midway through Ohio, and the damn thing blew up on us. I think it was the trans. Clearly, I was bummed and thought the trip was over. Wrong. We had it towed to a shop, and it was back on the road by the next morning. Luckily, I had a credit card and was quite free of debt and responsibility at the time. The best part was that the dude that towed us put the van on the back of a flatbed truck, and he let us ride in the van on the top of the truck. Imagine that. Yes. Your van is sitting there strapped to a flatbed, and those sons of bitches are still in the van. So naturally, we're all in there just drinking and smoking joints while he's driving us around. That's so badass.
That's awesome.
That is so badass. I mean, we were on spring break after all. It was behind the wheel pretending to drive a monster truck and getting drunk and high. It was like being able to get really drunk and high and actually drive with no consequences, other than the fact that the van could have possibly rolled off and destroyed us all. Then on the way back to the hotel, we had to stay in for the night, which was right down the road. He just let us sit on the back of the flatbed truck. In retrospect, a very bad idea, but fuck it. The trip was planned, ruined, and then turned awesome before we even got to our destination. Big E, you are not alone. One time I cranked off in my family van on a road trip, but only once. I cleaned up because that shit is gross. It was a long trip. I was bored to all hell, and it was in the way back under a blanket.
Well, of course.
And yes, I have been laid in several of my vans and will continue to get laid by chicks in my sweet van. Good day, sirs. I said good day.
That's awesome.
No. We'll end it there.
Road trips are badass, no question. That's my favorite thing to do honestly ever is road trips.
Yeah.
Any kind of road trip, anytime I'm getting on the road and just driving, man. It's fucking awesome.
The open road. That's what attracted E to his other possible job, his other occupation.
That is absolutely what
Open road
attracted me to
trucking.
truck driving is the open road.
Just you and the road. We'll save the rest for tomorrow.
And my thoughts, of course.
Okay. Well,
dim as they may be.
I guess that'll do it for a Monday. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Let's do it again tomorrow for an all-new Tuesday edition.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit. Listen to God, watch you grow.